Hey guys, this is James Reilman, Nick Allen with Push the Lane. Fun weekend this past weekend. Nick actually debased himself in front of Dyrus Jesus. It was kind of embarrassing.
Oh! Yeah, I never even liked you.
Oh, wow, that was where we're going with this.
That's where we're going. It's our time, it's Halloween. And MLG Dallas is this weekend. Should be exciting. There's some interesting teams coming. Azubu Blaze and Najin Sword are two teams from Korea coming over. CLGEU is going to be there, repping the European scene. For me, I think TSM is actually going to win this whole thing. They haven't been traveling as much. I mean, they moved, but their internet's back up. And they're looking pretty strong. They won the TSM Invitational this last weekend, and they're performing well, and they're practicing like they need to. I think a lot of people are probably tired from the World Championships. They're going on vacation, they're moving around, but not TSM. They're sticking to it, and they're playing well.
Yeah, I actually had CLGEU as my #1 team. I had almost forgotten about TSM, but they are looking very strong right now. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do. I think they're actually going to come in second behind CLGEU. I think CLGEU's late game and standard kind of play is going to be a little bit too strong, and everyone's going to be having kind of a hangover still from World Championships, where they're not going to have time to be practicing these unusual strategies. I have Najin Sword coming in at #3. It's definitely going to be exciting to see how everyone does. Najin Sword, they did just lose IPL5 qualifiers, but the competition level was absurd. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. TSM, they can prove themselves again on the international stage.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a circuit event, so I think if we're going to see crazy strategies, this is the tournament to see it in.
All right, so next up, Dyrus Apology. You know, everyone had been talking about it for a while now. Dignitas at the World Championships, their strategy was leaked. It was Dyrus. You know, he's come out and apologized, and it really, it's a tough thing. And I think you look at the situation, there need to be strict penalties in place for players. And I'm, you know, not going to be saying anything bad about Dyrus. You know, he's definitely coming out and whatnot. But the concern is, how do you have any trust as a team? It hurt TSM as well. They said they were going to use the strategy, so it really hurt them as a team. And how do you not second guess yourself constantly when you're scrimming these teams? There's already a lack of competition between NA. They need to be playing each other, and they need to just trust that they can, you know, have that foundation to work on, that their strategies aren't going to be out there for everyone.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of Dignitas for the way that they handled the situation. Really professional. They didn't come out and say any names, even though everyone on the team and a lot of people in the community knew what Dyrus had done already. So it's interesting to see how they've really acted professional. Their management was really good at stepping in and saying, like, you know, take it back, you know, let this thing go.
And Odie.
That Odie, you know, props to Odie for that. And, you know, it's the biggest tournament ever, and something like this goes down. So I'm pretty disappointed in Dyrus for doing that. You know, good on him for coming out and making it public for what he did. But yeah, I agree. Strict penalties are needed. There has to be a way to prevent this in the future.
Well, the morale's brutal for both teams, and Dignitas, their secret strategies have worked well in the past, but going into a game thinking you've already lost, that always sucks.
Yeah, it's rough for them. Okay, so we also heard and we announced, or someone announced yesterday, that Paradoxical is now off of Team Dynamic. Yeah, so that's actually, he's been on the team for so long, back when they were mono, and probably even when they were before they went on to mono. So Paradoxical hasn't been playing that well lately, I have to be honest. You know, I really, the star of the team right now is Zion Spartan, in my opinion, really carrying the top lane. But I mean, Paradoxical used to be really strong for the team. Back in the days, Cassiopeia was one of his strongest champions. He would really do a lot of work in that mid lane. I remember I was really impressed with how he handled games against Reginald and that aggression. So he's really good, but he hasn't been performing. So I can understand there's a lot of team changes going on Dynamic. Mashme's new, Nintendo was out, now he's back. So I mean, we could see Paradoxical again. I mean, that could happen. There aren't a lot of mids right now for them to choose from.
You were saying though, with Cassiopeia and Ari in the past, Paradoxical was always really strong. He would help be one of the members that would carry the team, but he would also lose it for them a lot. He would make a lot of mistakes, get caught out of position a lot. You know, so that it always kind of hurt them. There was always kind of a question about Paradoxical. But at the same time, they're trying to build up a team. And like you said, Nintendo, you know, that was the most common example, or the most recent example was them kicking Nintendo, bringing him back. So you're trying to build a team. How is everyone on the team not questioning themselves now if they think that there's going to be a situation where they're just, you know, kicked off the next week? They're like, oh, I'm underperforming or whatnot. You know, they're going through some of these roster changes. That's a struggle for any team, and it's going to be interesting to see how Dynamic's going to deal with that.
Yeah, I'm sure Zion Spartan doesn't need to worry. He has been carrying like every game.
No, Katarina top. He's been insane.
Yeah.
But that brings us to Mono. Mono, last week, Mono Ferris, Balls left the team. They're left sackless. And we're going to see who's going to be moving into that top lane. Voyboy and Cruiser the Bruiser, probably the most common picks there. And we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, there's also Wings of Death, but I actually wouldn't count on it. I think Voyboy would be
Muffin Cutie going to veto that?
Yeah, probably going to veto that. I think him and Aframe are good friends, though.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, I think Voyboy is a perfect match for the team. The team is generally really aggressive, especially in the bot lane. And I mean, Mandatory Cloud isn't necessarily the most aggressive mid lane player, but I think Voyboy would be perfect. We saw how strong he was in Hanover. He got MVP. He would roam around a lot. He would really make big plays. And in CLG, he wasn't able to do that. He really played with their style of play, which is somewhat gimmicky. I mean, they do these pokes and these back doors, and we saw Voyboy execute those well, but I think his real skill is in like the aggressive top lane play, which we haven't seen out of him for a while, which I think we would see with him on Ferris.
I think he's a perfect fit for Ferris. Like you said, his play style and everything. Ferris, they've been trying out Cruiser the Bruiser this past week. He didn't really work that well with the team, but I think he's still a great player. I think he would be a good fit as well. I think part of the issue was they were playing their kind of standard strategies. They weren't doing anything unusual. They kind of fell behind early, and so it was kind of tough. So I think with time, he would definitely move in with the team. But it begs a bigger question for Mono Ferris, which is what's the team morale situation like? Because a lot of teams you watch, them, you're like, this is one of the greatest teams in the world. They really are incredible. And then sometimes you watch them, they lose to teams they really shouldn't be losing to, and they're playing, standard strategies. They're playing kind of lackadaisically sometimes. And so there was always that question. Now with Balls leaving, why, if you were happy and everything was great with the team, this is a huge up-and-coming team, why would you leave? So it asks those questions about Ferris. Hopefully everything's okay there, and they can get that stuff sorted out, and the team can be better for it.
Yeah, let's hope. They're really strong, and I think that they have a bright future ahead. All right, last topic, tournament breakdown. We just want to go over some of the tournaments that went down this past weekend and the ones coming up. So TSM Invitational is this past weekend. TSM took first place, second to Orbit, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Congrats to them. This next weekend is another TSM Invitational. They're running their weekly series.
Oh, not this next weekend, because that's MLG Dallas.
Oh, you're right.
Right after
weekend
that.
After,
but yeah,
right.
So they're going to continue on, and there's going to be plenty of tournaments for them to win. But they look strong there, so they should look good at MLG Dallas.
Yeah, it's a good sign. World Esports Masters, WEM, World Elite IG taking first and second. Curse 0-2. I know you had been talking about that. It was a best of one bracket, so kind of a difficult situation there, but it was exciting, and nice to see those Chinese teams still looking strong.
Yeah, Team We won that, and it was, I mean, the best of one. Yeah, that's a little bit interesting. I wouldn't run a tournament like that, but I think it makes for exciting matches.
All right, Tales of the Lane, that's the last one. This upcoming weekend, they are going to have the Tales of the Lane semifinals and finals. It's going to be exciting. Curse versus M5, and also SK versus Eclipsia. SK actually went 3-1 to their group. I personally have M5 over SK. I think it would be Curse as the #2 team, except that they're playing M5.
Yeah, I think Eclipsia is going to beat SK, and then M5 is going to come in and beat them. M5 just ridiculous team.
I will say about Eclipsia, though, I'm So Fresh has been looking really strong recently. We've seen him subbing for teams like Curse, and he looks a lot like Diamond Prox in the jungle. Plays Lee Sin, plays Shyvana, and looks very strong in that role.
Yeah, should be interesting to see. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week. I'm at Nick Allen, IGN.
At Baroncast, so feel free to message us. Also, IPL5's coming up. Go to IGN.com/IPL5 for more information. Buy your tickets and everything. There's going to be a lot of good teams there. We're really excited for it.
See you guys next week.